chemical engineer can be involved in. There is a semiconductor industry. I think this one is very surprising, right? So when we talk about semiconductor industry, that should be the student who taken the electronic course. They just eligible to involve in semiconductor industry. But today we have invited Miss Cao Hui Chin, and she is now the senior engineer of quality assurance operation in the company of Western Digital. So today we let her to share with us what is her role in the semiconductor industry after she graduated as a chemical engineer. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tolkien. So I'm Hui Ching and would like to share my working experience in the semiconductor industry as a quality engineer. So now let me introduce myself. I was graduated in petrochemical engineering from Utah in year 2018. And right after I graduated, I joined Swanco, a chemical industry in Johor in August 2018. And then I quit the job in 2020 and joined Western Digital as a quality engineer in March, just 1 week before the MCO I did. Yeah. Then I was promoted to senior quality engineer last year, and currently I'm pursuing my master's study in USM under Western Digital sponsorship, major in data science and analytics. So now let's take a view for Western Digital. So this is our plant. In Malaysia, we have 5 sites which are in Johor, KL, Sarawak, Penang Island, and also Batu Kawan. So this is our plant in Batu Kawan, which is established in 2015. And then, there are about 3.6K of employees in Batu Kawan sites with 2,000 of direct labors and 1.5K of the indirect labors. And in WD, we produce 1.8 million of dies and also 170K of drives in one day. So, WD also is the first company in Malaysia in receiving the first 4IR Lighthouse Award in 2021. So what is Lighthouse Award? Lighthouse manufacturing is actually a fully automated process with minimal human intervention to run the operation. As you can see from the pictures here, right, all the process is running automatically by the robots or the machine itself with a very minimum of human intervention. Okay, so let's look into our products that we build. Basically, this is the main products that we built from SSD Batu Kawan, which is we have our asset solid state drive, where you can see in the market WT Blue, WT Green, and the next one will be the gaming product. This is one of our famous product in gaming, which is WT Black, that is used in a PS5. And also we have the removable media such as the micro SD card. And of course, we do produce many more products, and you can find more of the products in the Western Digital websites. Okay, so now let's look into the more interesting topic today. What does the quality engineer actually do? Is it only doing the accepting or rejecting like this guy here? So actually, I classify them into few groups. So the first one is the incoming quality. So when we talk about incoming quality, it is always related to the supplier quality engineer to ensure that all the incoming raw materials that we receive is meeting the spec. Okay, if there is the supplier quality engineer will work with the supplier to ensure that they deliver the good product to us. Next will be the in-process quality. So from in-process quality, right, we have a manufacturing quality engineer who will actually look into the process, like the yield and also the yield. For example, if they receive a triggering or the fallout or low yield, they need to work with the relevant stakeholders to improve this process and to solve the issue. The next one will be the outgoing quality. So under this outgoing quality, right, we will have a product quality engineer to ensure that all of our product will be tested with to ensure the functionality and the reliability of the drive before we ship out to the customer. And last one will be the quality management system. In this portion, right, this is actually the most of the important thing in almost all the organization. It ensures us to drive the continuous improvement and complies to the regulatory authorities to ensure the quality of our product to meet the goal and meet the customer satisfaction. Okay, so the four categories that I mentioned just now is the general roles of a QA. So now let's look into my job scopes. I'm actually from a QA operation, which is mainly in charge of the excursion, meaning that whenever there's excursion, we will in charge to do the purge and containment. So excursion is like an ad hoc event when we have quality issues such as is triggering from the production, or whenever we receive a customer complaint, or there is a triggering from the supplier itself that some of the product they give us is having the problem. Then we have to do the containment for it. And when we do the containment, we also need some data analytics skills, such as to crunch the data and analyze the data so that we can contain the product properly. And last time, I was also involved in the system enhancement, which will lead or involve in some of the project enhancement. Okay, so this is about the containment in excursion. What is the purpose of the containment here? It is very important to contain the drive so that we won't ship the non-conformance product to the customer. It is actually the protecting the customer. And okay, let me give an example here. For example, if let's say today we have a triggering from production that there are 20 drives with wrong product label, like the example just now, right? If the drive is WD green but we pasted the WD blue label, and from here this is considered a big issue. And what should we do? The first thing we need to do is we have to stop the bleeding. As we know that we need to check this drive, the defect one is coming from which work order, and from there we have to quarantine all of them and purge it. Okay, so I hope by now you can understand more about this containment in an excursion. Okay, let me give more details in this. So let's take the example just now about the wrong label, right? So we need to first we need to identify the problem when it happened. For example, when we detected, we need to know when the drive is go through the product label printing process, and where is it printed, is it under which line, which machine, and who printed it, or who is the leader, who is the one that changed the recipe, and how this issue happens, why, and so on and so forth. Okay, so once we have identified this, we need to identify the scope so that we can quarantine them, right? So like I mentioned just now, we need to know the affected time frame. For example, it happened in the 20 drive is printed in maybe 1st of November, and then it is we want to know when this issue is found, and they correct it. So for example, they triggered it on 1st of November, and then they morning, and then in the afternoon they found this issue and corrected it. So now the affected scope will be all the drive that running through that machine from morning, 1st November morning, until the time they corrected the machine. So from there we will know the affected quantity and how many and involve how many products, for example. Okay, and then whether the drives, for example, at that time frame there are 10,000 of drive impacted. So we need to know where is the drive status of these 10,000 drive, whether they are still in-house or already shipped out. If they already shipped out, right, we need to also have a risk assessment and then to pull back all this drive from the hub or from the customer side. Okay, so but for this, right, how we identify the scope, we will use the SQL is actually a database for us to crunch the data and to identify the scope. Okay, then lastly, when we identify the scope, we need to purge all the drive. We need to stop the bleeding, right, like I mentioned just now. So when we arrange a purge, we also need to consider whether we want to rescreen, rework them, or repack, or even scrap them. For example, for this wrong label placement, for sure we know that we need to rescreen over them and identify those drives with wrong label, and then purge to rework them. And the good drive, we can proceed to repack and then flow to the FG for the shipment. Okay, so this is more about the containment during the excursion. So now I will talk about the system enhancement. So for this, we also involve in automate the manual task. For example, right, when we hold the drive, we will need to do the manual validation to check in the system to ensure that all the drive is on hold, so that there is no non-conforming drives escape to customer. So all this is a very manual job, and then we have improved it, enhanced the system to have an auto validation, meaning once we do the hold in the system, we can receive the email triggering from the system itself within few seconds or few minutes to show us that, is it all of the drive already quarantined, or when there is any fallout, they will also send us a triggering email. And we also will have a dashboard monitoring. Like last time, the engineers need to pull all the daily report every morning, but now with this dashboard monitoring, they can easily just click the button, go to the link, and then can see all the things that they want in the dashboard. Okay, and the second one will be the to improve the existing process. So from this one, right, we will always work with the stakeholders to make our existing system or process interlock. So in the routine job, right, sometimes we will notice that there will be a loophole or system gaps that they might have risk to our company. So we have to identify it and then to work out with the stakeholders to improve this process. Okay, the last one will be, I want to share, is the learning opportunities in Western Digital. In our company, we will provide the internal training in both technical or soft skills. So every employees can join the training. And we also have the master program that collaborate with the different universities such as USM, UM, as well as UKM. So my master study is also under this program, under USM. And lastly, we do have a lot of online courses available in the Udemy for all of the employees to learn new skills. So my key message here is that no matter your background or the industry you're entering, right, the most important thing is about the lifelong learning. If you want to succeed, you have to continuously upgrade your skills so that you can adapt to the new development. Yeah, I think that's all for my sharing today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cao Hui Ching. So thank you for your sharing. It's quite a very a special job scope in the semiconductor industry. So now I hope that audience have a very clear picture about what Ms. Cao she's doing in the semiconductor industry. And we found that normally you need to help the company to solve a lot of problem immediately in your workplace. And we found that your workplace also have some available problem solving strategy, and you need to apply it and solve it in your workplace every day. Another one thing is we can get to know lifelong learning is important, means that you need to enhance your skill, improve your skill, or learn new skill through a continuous training that provided by the company. And even you yourself now also will continue to pursue your master study for the more specific area, right? So your sharing is very important to us. Thank you, Ms. Cao, for having you today.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. To.
Thank you. So now, after we go through all the sharing from all the speakers, we definitely have a very clear idea on what a student, a fresh graduate from chemical engineering program, after they graduate, what they can do and what industry they can go. Yes, definitely we can go to various industry that you are interested with.